Okay, lights, camera, action. We've got a lesson coming out very soon. We've got a match tonight. I'm doing a brief little warm-up for both my lesson and the match. Coach Kirk is 14-0, people. That's not too shabby. Not too shabby. I'm expecting my singles match tonight to be pretty tough. But something I have going for me. For the first time in 4 weeks, I'm playing relatively pain-free. That started about yesterday. I gave myself proper rest, improved the recipe or mix of the number of singles matches followed up by a doubles match and vice versa. So I'm on 4 teams, and 2 of the teams I only play singles, and then the 2 senior teams I play doubles. And it's really an incredibly fun mix. I get my sparring and my gritted teeth effort in the young man's division. There's some gentlemen in there too, for sure. But in the senior ranks, it's storytelling time. And it's comedy time. And it's competition time. And the competition can be comedic. What it means to you when you're 60 to win versus what it means to you when you're 30 to win, we'll have to unpack that. I have some observations that I think will entertain you. But let me continue my warm-up. I don't have a lot of time here. Yeah, so I'm delighted that I can lift up my feet and land. I can land on my left leg now. I had a twisted knee. So for about 5 weeks, it was uncomfortable to put weight, to plant, to make the final step forward and put weight and turn into the shot. And I'm not 100% there. I'm not gonna land and push hard on that. You push hard on the front leg to lock down that part of the kinetic chain so the right side can come through. There's a kinetic chain in all the strokes that goes from the toe to the heel to the knee to the hip, like that, little nursery rhyme. Well, it's true. And you got to take care of each of those little segments. In the game of tennis, when you play it correctly, the energies gets dispersed amongst all those little segments. And that helps you recover better. If you're using good mechanics, you're not bearing all the weight on one segment. Mechanics and strokes matter so much, in my opinion, not only so you have more tools in the tool chest of shots to hit, but to allow your body to very much in detail know where the problem is and what segment needs to be rested and why and how long. You start to figure that stuff out. It's fun at this stage of my life kind of getting back into a body mode. People are typically in their body mode when they're 30, just getting out of college where it just came naturally. Now they're starting to pack on a few, couple of pounds, and they're not looking quite as tight as they used to, and they can remember it. It was only a few years ago. So they get out, they get some activity going, and their body just recharges quickly, and they get a 30-year-old fit person. Man, that's a pretty cool body to have. But I would argue that at late 50s, with proper nutrition and a holistic, healthy approach, you can reverse your age. Absolutely. Now, if you offset it with a lot of St. Patrick's Day festivity that lasts for 6 or 8 hours, and you put a little bit of hurt on the organs, you're not going to probably be jiffy the next day to get out and do your warm-ups, to get ready for a match on Tuesday. So planning several days in advance of the event is also very important. How much exercise, how many reps, how many, spreading out instruction, spreading out working with students, spreading out, so you have, I try not to stack more than 2 hours in a row of any kind, whether I'm playing a match or I'm going to work with somebody. After 2 hours, I need a short break, just kind of recharge, and I can get back on the court an hour later. That works. But for me, that's helped because when you start to get a little fatigued, your attention starts to falter, right? So in those moments where you get a little sleepy or a little bit too nonchalant, and then an opportunity comes up where you go dart for a ball and you're a little bit sloppy about it, an injury can occur. And the really top players are so good at maintaining a level of focus for the duration of the match. Every point having your focus so you don't let anything sloppy get away. You're prepared for every ball, and that takes a long time to build up that mental strength and how should I call it, to make that be a routine. That's not easy to do. You got to have enough matches in a week so that you can kind of recognize and chart that, hey, in my first match, I had some momentum slips of 2 games, 3 games, where a combination of me getting sleepy and my opponent, of course, naturally turning on the supercharger. And before you know it, 2 or 3 games get away. Anyway, I'm kind of rambling on, just unloading some ideas about things that are kind of tumbling through my head to get ready for tonight's match. Reminders. I have, and I think I mentioned it before, I have scripts that I run through. I have a script for the serve. I have a script for the return. I have kind of an overarching theme or plan for the day of what I want to do for this match. And it varies because it's not one thing. It's a mixture of, a half a dozen things that are kind of my general approach to going into a match. And some days, some elements mean more than others. I could be tired, and I got to remind myself, go all the way to the ball. That's one of my favorite sayings that actually Martina Navratilova would say. And it's so smart to go all the way to the ball so that you can unleash fury on balance. If you don't go all the way to the ball and you have to reach, the kinetic chain gets all busted up, and so does your spine, right? So you don't want to be out of position when you go for your, accelerated circular swing. See how I had to reach for that? Did you hear the frame? I wish I could say that was an on-purpose demonstration, but yeah, I didn't go to the ball. Sometimes what you got to do is you got to go away from the ball, right? Sometimes you got to go to the ball. Sometimes you got to go away from the ball. Go away from the ball so that your strike zone can be correct. And if you're going away from the ball, do you think that's a smart time? You think that's a smart time to unleash fury on the swing? Probably not. You're moving backwards, which is not natural, right? So, and a lot of people are not good at moving backwards. You got to get good at moving backwards, right? Multi-directional. Little steps allow you to change direction so that you can move and cover the court without falling on yourself and not expending too much energy. Then you got to be able to land and open up your stride to get to a ball that's up close to the net. And it looks like Pivo has puckered out. You can't keep up with me, Pivo.